Today we're going to be working on some beef bacon, so I'm glad you came. Let's just run through a couple quick steps here. Shouldn't take very long. The curing process takes like almost 10 to 14 days to actually cure. It's a wet brine. I've got room in the camper fridge, so we're going to just, because I don't have any room in our fridge, so we're going to stick it out there for that time, and hopefully we get a good product out of it. So let's show you what it takes to do it. Alright, so I'm going to set you up on the overhead here and just run through a couple products that we got to use, and then just the putting it together. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is I've got a container big enough to hold all of the ingredients. And the ingredients are as follows, and if you don't catch something in here, I'm going to put the full recipe down in the description. So make sure if you missed something in the video, head down there and you can find it in the description. We're going to start with 2 gallons of cold, purified drinking water. I got 2 of them, and they both go in there. If you don't have cold bottled drinking water, you can definitely use tap water, but I would recommend maybe putting them in a couple of tea pitchers with the lids off for overnight. That way they can dechlorinate. There's quite a bit of chlorine in most tap water, which is fine. Okay, so we got that, and then we've got this pink cure salt. This is number 1, or prog powder, however you want to call it. This isn't something that you can get, that I couldn't get at Walmart, so I had to order this on Amazon, and like I said, there'll be a link in the description for all this stuff. But you're going to need 2 ounces of that, and I've got a small digital kitchen scale. It's a little bitty one. I think it goes up to like 11 pounds. So we'll just measure that out. Get a paper plate here, turn it on, make sure I'm on the right units. So I'm on pounds and ounces. So I'll set the plate on there and then zero it out, and then I'm just going to use the shaker part of it to measure. And that is entirely too much. No, it's not. There's 1 ounce. And it's usually 1 ounce per gallon of water, is why I have 2 ounces. If you had more meat to do, you would just do 1 ounce per gallon of water. So if you have 4 gallons, you'd want 4 ounces. But we'll just kind of shake it in here, tap it off, put the lid back on it because this stuff's not the cheapest. And then I've got 2 things of sea salt. They're 1 pound and 10 ounces a piece, so that's why I've got 2 of them. But we'll just pour them on here. Do 1 pound at a time here. $10, $12, $13, $14, $15. 1 pound. Whew, that was good. Perfect pump. So there's 1. Let's see how accurate this is. That was 1 pound. So the rest of this should be 10 ounces. Good, 10.4. And then like I said, I got an extra one here, so we'll just top it off with this. Take it up to 1 pound. Have a big clump in there or something. Oop. Okay. And honestly, that's all the stuff that goes in the brine. Shut our scale down. Get this centered back up, and then you want to just mix this around until it's all the salt and cure is dissolved. This container has a lip on the edge, so there's a bit of stuff around the edge. So just get it good and dissolved. You can really feel the chunks in here. And yeah, this water's really cold, so keep that in mind if you're sensitive to cold or hot. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're gonna set this aside, and then I'm gonna cut my beef belly in half to fit in here. Okay, so we got our beef bacon, and this isn't really something that you're gonna typically find on the shelf. We ordered a half a beef, and I asked politely if there was a way if I could get this, and it's actually the plate or the navel, depending on where you're at. But we're gonna cut this in half and then stick it in our brine. Let's see, I think this other side looks pretty good. This side just looks like big bacon. So, like I said, cut it in half, and then we'll stick it in the brine.
What?
So you're gonna want to put something on top too to keep it in there, or else it's, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually floating to the top. So I'll just get a heavy bowl and stick it, maybe 2 heavy bowls, and stick it on top of there. Okay, so that's gonna work. It's just a little crock pot full of water. I'm gonna take it out, and while I carry it out to the camper, but I got a lid that seals on here, and like I said, I'm just gonna fill that up with water and let it sit. Okay, so I still got to run back in and get that little crock pot full of water, but that's going to hang out for 10 to 14 days. I'm going to write the date on a sticky note so I don't forget. I'm going to write today's date on it. So the next time we see that, it'll be out of the brine and getting ready for the smoke.
Day 5.
All right, so day 12 of our beef bacon little recipe here. I just pulled this in from the camper, and yeah, so it should be good and cured. 10 to 14 days typical. Today, day 12 was just one that I had available to smoke and all that stuff, so it kind of worked out. So we're just gonna get it out here. Try not to make too big a mess. And we're gonna do 2 different kinds. I'm gonna do one that's just plain. I'm just gonna smoke it, nothing on top. And then the other one, we picked up some of this Bearded Butcher Black seasoning. We used it on some pork country ribs the other day, and I thought it was really good. If you haven't seen these guys, they've got a YouTube page and a website and all that good stuff, but it's Bearded Butcher Seasoning .com, I think. But you can order that stuff. They have tons of stuff, barbecue sauce, everything. So let me get you set up. Alright, so I've got just the biggest cutting board that I had, and then a tray to take my stuff out on. But we're just gonna wipe it down, and I'll do the seasoned one first. That way I don't have to touch the seasoned one first and then get it on the other. So we're gonna season one of them with the black, and I'm gonna pick out the bigger one for that just because I'm a little more excited for it. And then we're just gonna pat them dry. And you can see this is kind of a lot more red still, and it's because they were sitting on top of each other. The other one's got an equally red spot. But yeah, that's it for that one. And I think the bigger one is on bottom. There's a big piece here that's flaking off, so we'll just take it off now. Yeah, so we'll I'm gonna season this one because this other one's quite a bit thinner. So like I said, I was just kind of more excited for this one than, so hopefully it's a little bit better. Cleaned off. And I don't think you can really put too much seasoning on stuff that's this big, and it'll make a nice bark or crust, and it'll look really nice once it gets done doing its thing on the smoker. So the black seasoning here that I'm using has some molasses and some coffee blends in it, and that's kind of what the flavor profile is of it. And I bought quite a few different ones. I think I got 4 or 5 different ones from them when I ordered. And this one just seemed to kind of be the winner that I wanted to use for the bacon. All the rest of them are really good. The other one we tried out on our country ribs was the Brock Lesnar blend. It was good, had good flavor. It's a little too spicy for me, but I'm not a big spice guy, so. But it wasn't necessarily overpowering. It was just a little too much for me. I don't know if it's because I'm getting old or what, but. So just make sure when you're seasoning, you get all your sides, all the ends. Don't be scared of it. Like I said, it's a pretty thick cut of meat, so you know, the more you put on, the more flavor you're going to get in the end. One more end here. think I was covering that up with my hat. All right, so that one's all done. We're just gonna put it here, and then I'm just gonna put a piece of parchment paper over it so I can kind of stack them together. I don't have the biggest of plates to use. I do have my smoker going. So I am going to talk to the butcher shop where we got our half of beef, which is where all this came from. I did kind of make a special request whenever we did it, that I get the plate or the beef belly. And I'm going to see if this turns out well, if I can just order this again from them and maybe have a nice consistent flow of beef bacon coming in. So this is all done. I'm going to dump this out. This is not reusable by any means. This is all done. So we're going to take it and head out to the smoker. Alright, so right now all you can hear is a fan, so I'm just going to do a quick voiceover, but just kind of going over what we've got here. I did pick up a Pit Boss Austin XL, and we've got it set on the smoke setting, and it's on the P set is 4. If you guys have a Pit Boss, they have these preset settings inside. But we're just going to load the smoker up here, the unseasoned one, just to keep my hands clean before I mess with the seasoned one. Forgot to bring a trash can out, so we'll just put that right there. No gloves either, so I did try to keep it as clean as I could, so I wasn't making a huge mess. I also have a rib section, a pork rib section that I thought was something else in the freezer, but I ended up thawing it out, seasoned it up. It's in there too, but that's not what we're after today. Like I said, I forgot my gloves. No big deal. But we'll just get a couple probes in the big part. The seasoned one had a pretty fat end on it, so we just put it in there, and we're gonna let it smoke for a few hours, come out and check it, and yeah, can't wait. Alright, I'm gonna go take a nap. I worked last night. I'm gonna set an alarm for about 2.5 hours, just come out and check on it, make sure I don't need to do anything. I got my pellets topped off. Should be plenty for all day. Actually, I'm gonna crack the door open, that way it doesn't get too smoky in here, and I don't know, hopefully this turns out well. I'm pretty excited. I think I've kind of talked it up at work a little bit too, so everybody at work's excited, so can't wait to see how it turns out. Alright, so we're about 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's all looking pretty good. Exciting. Okay, so everything is actually 150, kind of everything caught up together. 145 on pork is good. And then 150 is actually fully cooked bacon. So these are technically fully cooked. So we're just going to pull these probes out, and everything's ready at the same time here. So, but the 2 bacon slabs are going to have to rest overnight, and I'm going to put them in the fridge. That way they're easier to cut tomorrow when I slice them in the morning. Wardrobe change, I got to go to work. So, but I think we're about 5.5 hours here, so but I mean, not an all-day cook, but long enough, I guess. So there's that pork. It looks pretty good. That's not what we're after today, though. Today we're after this beef bacon. I should have brought another piece of foil. That's alright. Should be crusted up by now. Shouldn't be any transfer. That's it. Let that kill itself. And the next time you see this, we're gonna be slicing it. All right, second day of getting ready to cut this bacon. Yesterday we smoked it, seasoned it with some Bearded Butcher seasoning. This is the black seasoning that's on that, and that honestly looks as good as any brisket I've ever seen come off of a smoker. So I can only imagine what it's going to taste like. This one's obviously a plain one, but I'm going to stick this one in the fridge just to keep it cold for ease of slicing, and then I'm going to probably square up one of these ends, and that way it'll go through our meat slicer. I borrowed a meat slicer from my grandpa, but it has a little slide for it that I had to take off, so I just kind of covered everything with foil. That's why it kind of looks a little janky, but this is just to keep everything clean, as clean as it can be. But like I said, I'm gonna stick this guy in the fridge. We're gonna cut that one first. Actually, I should cut that one first just to keep the machine clean, and then I'll cut that one. Yep, that's what we'll do. All right, so this is my offcut, and it's really just like a really nice marbled piece of bacon. But we're gonna go with that. I'll probably just chunk that a little bit up and probably just pan fry it or something. But we're gonna turn the meat slicer on. As you can see, it's unplugged for safety. We're gonna turn the meat slicer on and get cutting. All right, first slab's done. This end is the end where I had, I don't know, probably 1.5 or 2 inches of meat left, and I didn't feel comfortable enough getting my hands that close to the blade, and this is just like a bunch of chunks of the very last, like 3/4 of an inch. But I mean, I got pretty good amount of slices. They look really good. Bacon typically changes throughout the whole cut, so each one of them is a little bit different, but I mean, this was pretty typical. Quite a bit of meat, a hunk of fat in the middle, and then a little bit of fat on the other end, or meat on the other end. But we're gonna get going on this guy, the seasoned up one. I had to modify my slicer about 3 slices in because it was wanting to slide on me, so I just kind of clamped it up there. But yeah, we're gonna get going on this. I'm gonna spare you the details. We'll come back and you'll just see all that cut up. All right, so second slab is done, second half, and you can just see the difference. This was the very last cut I got off of. It would have been this end up here, and just the size difference. I mean, it's almost twice as thick on the other end, twice as wide, still the same thickness all the way through. And then this is what I had left, was this, like I said, it's about 1.5 inches left, and I'll do the same thing. I'll just slice as much as I can. They're a lot thicker slices, and then I'll chunk up the very end of it, kind of like burn ends or whatever. But that's it for this one. I got a little bit of cleanup to do here, and then we're gonna probably take, I don't know, 10 or 12 slices and package it up, vacuum seal it, and throw it in the freezer off of both slabs. So there'll probably be 2 or 3 packages from each, 3, 4 maybe, I don't know. So but that's it. Hey, thanks for following us along on this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. We'll do more cooking videos. The more likes we get, I would like to do some cooking out at the campsite ones. So if you guys are interested in that, just let me know. Leave me a comment. Maybe leave your favorite recipe or whatever. But I'm going to finish cutting this up, and we'll see you on the next one. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Give me a big thumbs up on this video if you liked it. And we'll see you on the next one. God bless. Wait a minute here. So as I'm doing the edit on this video, I'm straightening up, I realized I didn't tell you how this tasted. The flavor is really good. The seasoning we put on it was amazing. The Bearded Butcher seasoning is fantastic. I've actually used everything that I have from them. I've used it all. I need to reorder, and I'm actually going to get a lot bigger portions of it. But as far as the flavor on this, or the texture or whatever, it's got a texture of beef jerky. I think it's the thickness that I cut it. If I would have cut it a little thinner, it would have been different, obviously. But it definitely resembles beef jerky a lot. But it does have a good bacon-y quality to it. So if you like bacon and you like beef jerky, this might be for you. But like I said, God bless. Thanks for following us along, and we'll see you on the next one.